In a must-have-it moment, Derrick Henry steps up big for the Baltimore Ravens. Snoop Huntley in relief of Lamar Jackson. When needed, was good through the air as well, but the story was deuce. Good for a four-piece. This, the fourth and final. Henry goes for 216 yards on 36 totes. His seventh 200-plus yard performance, an NFL record. And also, those 216, the most ever by an opposing player in Lambeau Field. That opened in 1957. We witnessed history on Saturday night from King Henry, who keeps the Ravens season alive. Back in studio with the fellas, Joe Musso, Jonathan Jones, Bryant McFadden. I believe it was Jonathan Jones pregame who asked for a comical number of attempts for Derrick Henry. We see the most by any back this season, 36, 216, 4 touchdowns. That scratched the itch properly?
Yeah, that was comical. It was hilarious, right? 36 rushing attempts for Derrick Henry. Something that, coming off of that game last week, it was just so obvious, so clear that they were going to feed Derrick Henry. But not just feed him early, B-Mac, but continue to feed him throughout the game and to the end. And obviously we saw him capping that game there at the end, but 9 carries for 70 yards in the fourth quarter. One of the better fourth quarter sort of shows that we have seen so far this season. And interestingly enough, Derrick Henry, I mentioned this in the pregame and then I looked it up. I said he has been one of the best fourth quarter running backs in the history of the NFL. Since 2000, no one has more fourth quarter rushing yards than Derrick Henry. Not Adrian Peterson, not Frank Gore, more than 3,200 fourth quarter rushing yards. He is the closer. He was not able to close last week because the ball was taken out of his hands and he was placed on the sideline. They made sure in Lambeau Field with their backs against the wall to extend their playoff hopes, right? Because we'll talk more about that and the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday. But to make sure that they were still having an opportunity, they gave the football to King Henry.
And seeing what they did tonight makes what they did last week such an egregious offense.
Even more so.
Even more so because of the stat that you just gave us since 2000 being the best fourth quarter running back in the National Football League, and they took the football away from him in the fourth quarter. But luckily enough, they learned from that costly mistake because it wasn't just about getting Derrick Henry started, but not turning your back on Derrick Henry, riding with him regardless of what he did in the first 2 quarters. We're not turning our back on Derrick Henry like we did last week. And guess what Derrick Henry said? Yes, that's the best decision you can make during this Christmas week. Give me the football. I'll make sure I will deliver every gift that you dreamed of getting tonight. And he did so at a high clip. And Green Bay didn't want to tackle him.
Yeah.
They didn't want to. It's hard tackling someone who's that big and that powerful. But when it's extremely frigid outside and he gets stronger as the game goes on, I mean, Derrick Henry said basically, no Lamar Jackson, no, don't worry about it. I put the team on my back and I can deliver.
Yeah, we don't want to minimize the history that we just saw, nor do we want to rain on any parades, but this does offer an air of regret from a week ago when your playoff chances were broader than they currently are. Feels like it might be too little too late for this Ravens team because if your Steelers can take care of business on Sunday against the Cleveland Browns,
this performance does nothing.
Then it's all said and done. If the Browns pull that one off, then we will have a Week 18 matchup for the division.
In Acrisure Stadium.
And wouldn't that be some sort of theater? But back to the moment here. It's a moment that belongs to King Henry. Malik Willis, when asked to counter, did everything he could have. The backup quarterback for the Green Bay Packers finishes this one 18-21 for 288, a passer rating in the 130s. There was just no answer defensively, Mac. You talk about that will, that want to tackle the ball carrier. What'd you see defensively from Green Bay? Is this just a matter of too much attrition all at once?
Well, defensively, they were soft in the interior. And when they got an opportunity to get Derrick Henry down, they did not do that. During our pregame show, if you're not watching us, you're missing a treat. Our very own Jonathan Jones gave the keys for the Packers to win, the keys for a victory. And you said what with Green Bay?
You got to tackle Derrick Henry, one of the better tackling defenses in the entire NFL. So make sure that you tackle Derrick Henry.
And they did not listen to your advice.
They should have been tuned in.
They should have been tuned in, or someone from the staff should have been tuned in, because we felt like, and you told us, they would give Derrick Henry the football because of the mistake of not giving him the football. So the game plan should have been find a way to stop number 22. But when you got to number 22, you just allowed this guy just to run through tackle after tackle after tackle. And I didn't see Derrick Henry not fall forward. That's the most positive thing about what he did. It's not just about the running lanes, but the ability to always fall forward to fight for positive yards.
Negative plays.
Maybe.
Entire game.
Maybe 2 negative plays. He averaged 6 yards per carry, so 2 carries for him. That's a first down.
6 yards per carry on 36 carries.
On 36 carries is an insane number.
With a long of 30.
With
it's not like he broke one off for 75.
For 70,
to get
yes. So that tells you how just effective he was, and that also told all of us one team didn't want to handle this physical game. They wanted it to be a throw it around the yard type of field, 7-on-7. Well, Baltimore said, we're not doing this. We're going back to the old AFC North mentality. Yeah. We're going to slow the game down. We're going to minimize the throwing opportunities, and we're going to run the football and just play. My man is tougher than your men football, and guess what? It worked for them.
We detailed the situation in the AFC North. This one also has implications. We have a champion in the NFC North. The Chicago Bears go worst to first, their first divisional title since 2018, tipping caps the way of Baltimore in this one. We're going to have a full playoff picture breakdown here in just a moment. JJ, I do want to go on Malik Willis, who maybe continues to make himself money in these opportunities he's offered by an injured Jordan Love. This is high-level quarterback play despite the loss.
18 of 21. In the National Football League, you have to credit that. And he wasn't just dinking and dunking.
No.
Right? Now, they were taking very coordinated shots, right? But he looked like a starting caliber NFL quarterback. And I say that even though he has started a couple games and won a few games for the Green Bay Packers, because we remember he had that draft day slide. When he was with the Tennessee Titans, it was not working out. And then he gets to Green Bay. He gets there with Matt LaFleur and that offensive staff there. And he looks like a guy who, why did Tennessee just let this guy go? Now, he is near the end of his 4-year rookie contract. And I don't want to say, you know, as I'm watching him and as this game was closer at the end of the third quarter, I thought to myself, is this the next Matt Flynn? Remember Matt Flynn with the Green Bay Packers? He goes out and plays that incredible game, and then he gets the big contract from the Seattle Seahawks. This is a contract year for Malik Willis. There are going to be teams in the NFL who, whether you're an Arizona Cardinals with Kyler Murray, you're a Miami Dolphins with a Tua Tagovailoa, you have a lot of money to your quarterback who may not be there next year. The Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson. And so you need someone that is going to be affordable, who can push any sort of veteran that may be there or help bring along a current rookie. And so I see Malik Willis fitting into a number of places. We don't really have a middle class in the NFL anymore at quarterback. Justin Fields got that $20 million contract from the New York Jets. Why won't Malik Willis get something around that? It obviously has to be in a great offensive scheme, right? You have to have a head coach and a great play caller for Malik Willis to have him thrive. But what I have seen from him, B-Mac and Joe, is something that I don't see why he can't go out there and actually make himself some money this offseason.
Yeah, he's earned a lot of financial leverage based on a game and a half of play in 2025. And then if you go back to what he did in 2024, starting for the injured Jordan Love, he kept things afloat for the Green Bay Packers in a moment where most people felt like their playoff hopes would go down the drain earlier in the year. But no, they found ways to win. So this is a very, very peculiar year for Malik, and he's shown the ability to be a really, really good thrower of the football. The maturation process in terms of throwing the football has